Hi, and welcome to the Nakama podcast where we talk about anime and other stuff too. I'm your host, Darius, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about anime versus manga. So I've got some guests with me, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, it's Reni.
Yes, Joe.
Yes, Adam.
Alright, yeah, so we're going to be talking about anime versus manga. So let's get right into the episode. So, for me, the first anime that made me read manga was Seven Deadly Sins, which was kind of a bad thing. But what about you guys? What was the first anime that made you read manga?
I think for me, I'm trying to remember all of the manga I've watched or read, but the main one where I was like, oh, I need to find out what happens is probably Attack on Titan, because I didn't want to, I think it must have been after the second season or the first season, and I remember hearing that people who had watched the manga was like, oh, there's the maddest twists and turns and this and that, and you will never see this coming. So I decided to read the manga because of that. And it turned out to be a really good manga. And even obviously I don't want to say any spoilers, but just even now,
everyone dies.
What?
Everyone dies.
How do you know that?
Look at my lips. You're ruining it. Ruining.
How do you know that? No one, ain't nobody dying.
I don't want to validate that or
down.
invalidate that, because I want to still allow people to find out what happens there. So you shouldn't really say anything like that, because it could be a potential thing, which I'm not going to discuss. But yeah, Attack on Titan was definitely one of the main mangas I picked up because of the anime. And I remember tapping into Berserk. I remember watching the old series, and I didn't want to watch the newer series because it looked all crusty and stuff. It looked like it had some CGI animation.
The PlayStation 2 graphics.
Was it two? Say that again, Joel?
PlayStation 2 graphics.
Yeah, that clunkiness, of Borderlands. I think the game.
How can you kill a series like that because of the animation? It doesn't make any sense. So, that's what they did with Seven Deadly Sins as well. The story was good. That fight, obviously one of the best fights in the entire series, ended up being one of the worst animated episodes I've ever seen in my entire life.
I did not. Can you imagine if they animated it properly? The one
it would have been so sick, and they ruined it.
The one, no. But they ruined it themselves the way the manga ended.
Yeah, Black Twitter had a field day with that episode, bro. I'm telling you.
Black Twitter. So yeah, I'll let you continue, Joe. What was the first manga you picked up or whatever?
I'll probably say, weirdly, actually no, it was playing Naruto, because I was watching it on TV on Jetix, and then when I moved to Dubai, basically, different countries have some people are more into anime than others. I found that anime was a lot popular in other countries than in the UK at that time, and around the early 2000s. When I was in Dubai, I found this bookstore called Kinikinoya. It's called it's basically a Japanese world bookstore, and they have books for all types of genres. And it's not Japanese, but it's all books. And then they have a dedicated manga section, and that's when I saw the entire volume of all the Naruto chapters, and I was like, yo, this is what I've been watching on TV. Let me go read the comics. Especially because I was watching the original Naruto series, and then how in Jetix, on UK TV programs, sometimes they just stop when a new season is starting, for certain animes. So when I found the mangas, I was able to continue on, finish the original series, and then I started shipping from reading the mangas before I even watched the episodes.
Oh, you were ahead.
Yeah, and then my and the thing is I was just observant. My cousins were the people that got me into anime, and they had other manga books as well. They had almost all of Claymore in their collection.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, same. I still need to watch it and read it as well. So, yeah, my cousins got me into a lot of series, especially Dragon Ball Z as well. They had a lot of Dragon Ball Z manga. So it was just literally by circumstance that I had family members that were into it. and I was with them all the time.
When was it that you went to Dubai?
In 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, I was only there for half a year. Yeah. But then that's kind of where, weirdly, that's where I got more into anime, because I literally kind of forgotten about it. Like, it was on the back burner. And then when I saw it again, it was like sparked that thing in me. I was like, yo, I was 10, so like I was still watching other stuff like Bakugan.
Yeah.
that was very popular at the time. So I had like the whole collection of
Did you have the toys?
all the Bakugan toys.
When you go back, if you think about it, that was like Digimon, but worse.
Yeah, but worse. I'm telling you,
Or
the spin
Blade.
was on you had to flick the ball on the magnetic card and
Yeah.
it pop up. Like, I thought because I had such a weird imagination. I thought the things was actually coming out like in real life. Like, yeah, good times.
I remember when they were like heavily advertising those. Like, I don't know if it was like year 7 or year 6. Like, I can't distinguish when it was, but I remember when that phase.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's me.
It's weird because I started reading manga before I got into anime. Like, I was reading manga in year 7. I can't remember what the first one was. It was about like this guy, and he gets bitten by this guy, and then he turns into a vampire, and then his friend like
It's a
tries to come
vampire
back. I have no idea, honestly.
Probably,
I just tried to look it up and I couldn't find it. So
Wait, let me. I think I'm sure it's called because if it's Vampire Night, because I know loads of people, or like
yeah, because I remember I was reading it and it had like 3 books, and I couldn't. Maybe it was just that my library didn't have the rest of them.
Look at this dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, let me take off.
Quite busy.
Let me take off the
I have no
take
idea.
off the background.
I don't think it is.
Nothing. Oh, why have I gone there? Nah, okay, I've made it worse.
Your front camera.
Yeah, there. Can you see it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's there. I can't. I can only see the girl. That's where. I think the main characters were a guy and a blonde-haired guy.
Okay, no,
Wait, which series is this?
I thought it was Vampire Night, but I might be talking about.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
have you read Vampire Night, Darius?
No, I just know about it because it's like, yeah, I just know about it. Something else really to say. I just know about it.
But yeah, I didn't get to finish that, so I went on to Black Butler instead. And then from there wasn't enough books there either, but I saw that there was some. I think I looked it up, and then I saw that it was an anime, and then I watched the anime of Black Butler instead. And from there, literally started watching anime. Like, yeah. And now it's kind of like come full circle, because with Berserk, the way that it finished in the anime version, because I watched the older version as well, and then I watched, because I looked up online the best way to watch like all the Berserk stuff like in chronological order. So yeah, like I got up to the first episode of the newer version, and it was just like,
Yeah, I can imagine, depressing.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it at all.
You haven't watched the old series?
I haven't watched all I've like when I tapped into it was me reading it, so I've never watched it. So like I've just like, I don't know whether that's a good thing or bad thing. I just love the manga. No matter whether I watch the anime or not, the manga will be it for me.
The older series, the 1997,
isn't it? Or
yeah, that's definitely my favorite. Like the opening and the ending is probably one of my favorite like anime opening and endings.
Okay.
It's really nice.
I really think I finished the 90s version. Like I started it and then maybe moved on to the manga, or I just can't remember finishing it. But I do feel like I like the animation. Like it felt very rugged, but like it had a nice texture to it.
It's the 90s feel. That's the thing. Like Berserk should just be kept in the 90s.
Yeah, it fits so well with the whole medieval setting as well. Like definitely.
Yeah, I feel like Vinland Saga's kind of taken that medieval role now. It's because even now that Seven Deadly Sins is almost finishing, Vinland Saga is going to be the one that stands out.
Anime altogether. Seven Deadly Sins is just terrible.
They ruined that series after season 2, I think.
Yeah, I remember. Man, I was so happy about. If they animated that fight properly, it would have been like the best fight in the anime for a long time. Like that, and
Yeah,
the fight.
it would have stood out as one of the best. Yeah,
Yeah,
fights. Yeah, because at the end of the day, because it does all boil down to animation. Like you see how people hype up, well not hype up, but like people get obsessed over Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, like in terms of animation,
Yeah.
and the old Attack on Titan with Studio Wit, like
yeah,
because the animators were just
yeah.
doing the madness.
Yeah. The fight that happened in the recent episode of Jujutsu Kaisen was just crazy.
Whoa, yeah. Do you know those reaction people that I watch? They're
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, this is some next cinematics." like, look at the graphics. Yeah,
Man.
that's crazy.
I need to get around to watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
The thing is, yeah, like it's very good, but it's the basic shonen show. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the way they present it that makes it so good.
that's the thing
Yeah,
with Demon Slayer. Like,
yeah.
with Jujutsu Kaisen, it wasn't even rated the best in Japan when it was airing in the autumn season. It was Akama Drive, and Akama Drive is sick. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I've heard about it as
yeah,
well.
the ending of it was sick as well. Like the whole storyline and everything was good. I feel like that was, but it's because it's a basic shonen show. Everyone loves shonen, so
Yeah, I feel like because we've watched so many shonen animes, we just we know the formula now. So
yeah.
you just have to I don't know, I feel like it's getting better at they're getting better at presenting some of the series.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion.
It's just literally everyone just has a demon in them. Like every protagonist has a demon in them, and then they have to tame it. But yeah, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen reminds me of a bit of Bleach and Tokyo Ghoul, because it has all the spooky stuff and the elements of Tokyo Ghoul, but then when I relate it to Bleach, it's like separating the human world and the demon world.
Okay, yeah.
It's that type of thing, and the sorcerers are the same as the Soul Reapers.
I still need to watch it or read it. I'm gonna read it then. Because when is it coming out? Is it the end of this year?
Bleach?
Yeah.
We haven't had any updates, but apparently it's still set for this year. Oh, Hero Academia is coming soon. It's already March. It's coming out in April.
I don't know.
Same with Shaman King.
I was waiting for Shaman King. When Shaman King comes, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah, April as well, I think. Let me even look on my anime list. That's actually mad how fast time's gone.
Yeah. Can I say what manga has everyone read, and what has been the best manga that they've read?
I've only read 4, so my opinion is very limited. But actually, reading Berserk again has, I think, because I've watched it first and I'm reading it, the way that I'm up to the part where I'm golden age.
Yeah, the golden. Yeah, that's such a long arc. It's such.
It's weird because I've already seen it all before, so I know what it's leading to. But there's some scenes that they leave out, obviously, and some parts that they've animated differently. Yeah, so it's just, I'm quite enjoying that. I think in Black Butler, I didn't really see the same. I think because I only saw I only read 3 books of the Black Butler, and then I watched the whole series. It wasn't really the same, reliving it, but yeah.
So would you say the anime was better for that than the manga?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
What about you, Ade?
Because I feel like even though I've read manga, it's for example, with the Berserk, I read that and I feel like it was really good because I thought it was the animation sharp and the way the sword is drawn and it's very graphic. So it's just everything is very detailed. They have a lot of details.
Unlike the anime adaptation sometimes. It's not as detailed.
Yeah. So I think that's what I like about Berserk, but I've taken a long break from reading it, so I'm due to navigate which chapter I was at last. But
the last chapter came out Last month? No. So either at the beginning of this month or last month.
Did you read that?
Yeah, I'm up to date. It was a very interesting chapter. It was like it's just interesting to see what's gonna happen and how the story's gonna play out. Because there's a lot of things that needs to be answered. Lots and lot of things that needs to be answered.
I feel like I don't think this is a spoiler, but it's kind of like what I like about the show is like how he's gradually losing parts of himself, like one limb and this limb, and it's like I don't know why I like that. It's not really a good thing to like, but it just shows how like
The
brutal
gore.
the whole thing is. Like he's like literally sacrificing every part of his being, and I don't even know what his goal is. Like, well, I guess I do know what his goal is, but it's just like the show is it's a very chaotic piece of art. Yeah. We spoke a lot about Berserk and its shenanigans in the other episode, so you know, I think I don't know, I don't have much to add to it there. And for like, I read a little bit of My Hero when like I caught up with. I think maybe there's only 3 seasons out, right?
Yeah.
So like,
is there the 4 or 3?
3 seasons.
So when I finished the second season, I think that's when I read the manga, and like I read the manga probably up until about where season 3 is nearly ending. So
Actually,
there's more of the manga to
5
read, but I
seasons.
haven't.
Five. I was thinking. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's it. This was the 4th
Yeah.
season. The
Ages.
last
Yeah,
one was
the one that
4th
happened was the 4th season.
Yeah.
My bad.
So also the most recent one's the 4th season.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I probably like, I read some of the manga to get up to where the 4th season's at, and then when I watched the anime, I passed where I was at in the manga. So like, there's a bunch of the manga for me to read if I want to read that, or I'll just wait for the anime. And what else have I read? I think I've read like a couple of random manga strips that I can't remember the names of. Like, I'm just trying to think of any ones that caught my attention, but my memory is really poor. So, yeah. I read a bit of One Piece. Yeah, I remember reading One Piece for a bit.
One Piece.
Like,
yeah. I'm reread like I watched it, then I caught up, and then I'm reading it. Like I'm like what
from the beginning?
No. Like because I want to read. I'm not. It sounds stupid because I've watched it. I never read it in the first place. So, but I'm like reading, rereading the Imperial Down arc and then Marineford. So I'm on that bit now. And then,
okay, so like those iconic arcs.
Yeah. I just want to like. I'm just interested to see like how it flows because I just realized it when I was like reading it this morning. Like it flows so much quicker than in the actual anime. Like the anime seems like it dragged it along.
Yeah, it does drag. It does drag.
One Piece pacing is it's not terrible. It's just very slow.
Yeah, very, very,
very slow.
That's why I don't want to watch it because you need to watch. I'll be here till Christmas with that episode.
It honestly
with
is.
that episode list and the pacing, because I know it's an OG show. I know the pacing is going to be slow.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I'll probably like.
I'll let you continue.
I'll probably like finish it. Like if we go into another lockdown, like in the future, I'll probably watch it then.
I didn't even take me that long.
Entirety of lockdown trying to finish that.
I finished it in 4 months during lockdown. I just banged it out, and it was so beautiful.
It's just.
I don't mind. Like I'm just happy I'm caught up to it. Like I got some satisfaction from doing all of that. Them wasted hours of watching it. But,
I feel like I started watching One Piece like from episode 1 in about year 10, year 11, and then like I finally caught up probably either like second year of college. So like it took you like 4 months, but I think it took me about 4 years.
It's because it was lockdown. Like you have nothing else to do. That was the best moment to watch One Piece. It was during lockdown, so I just banged it out, and then
No, but I did like the saga where I think it's the Marineford one where he's in prison and stuff, and like the poison and all of that stuff. Like that was, I feel like that was like the show at its best because I felt like obviously it's a playful show, but like it just got serious, and I was like, damn, I like when it.
Pre-time skip is better than post-time skip, but this bit like the certain like it's because with after put the first arc on post time skip was Fisherman Island, which was dead.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a bit there.
it was dead.
Like, it was nice to see their new abilities, but then it
Yeah.
was just like it felt different as well.
And then, but the only thing about Fisherman Island is that it had important stuff in it, like it had important storytelling and like world building in it. But overall, the arc was dead. The villain, like Luffy, should if Luffy fought Howdy Jack above water, he would have finished him in one punch.
Who?
Like it's just the fact that you had to fight him underwater that made it drag along. So yeah, apart from that, it was good. It was bad. I mean, apart from the other like bits it added to the story. But yeah.
Cool.
What about you, Joe? What manga have you read?
At the moment, I've been reading Villain Saga, and so the monthly ones, Villain Saga, Boruto. I actually started weirdly. I keep confusing them with the weekly ones because some of them are monthly, some of them are weekly. But monthly, just Boruto, Vinland Saga, Attack on Titan. Then over the summer, I know it's not manga, but I've been reading Tower of God and The God of High School. There's like, I feel like if God of High School was adapted properly from the actual the comics, it would have been so good because Crunchyroll just did Crunchyroll did their own Wahala and just like rushed it.
I've never heard
for
someone
hype.
pronounce that like the way you pronounce that.
What?
Wahala, like
yeah, like nah. I'm telling you, well, reading it was so good. Like the fights, sometimes it can be a bit wacky, because they do all sorts of stuff. Like they have like some of the villains like in the series, they're like gods. They come from like America. Like they literally have what's it called? Yeah, they have like it's weird. Like they just do some wacky stuff. Like they have a character called Miss Oreo, I think, or something like that. Like it's there's all sorts of stuff going on. So yeah,
that's why the Crunchyroll Awards was cut kind of with with them giving that they were gonna try and give that the best, having that as a nomination for the best fight.
Yeah, and what's it called? Tower of God reading that was so sick because there's so many characters, and the arcs are like they're just very in depth, and they all tie in with each other. So it was a well made. The Tower of God is a well made series.
Guys, I've had this question, like, because I feel like I'm kind of like an Attack on Titan fanboy-ish. Like, I just really like that anime. So, like, have you guys come across any animes that you say are as, not intense, but just like as good? I don't know. I feel like I may put it on a pedestal, but like, do you find any other animes that kind of compare?
Similar.
Yeah, just in terms of it being very violent.
Vinland Saga.
You know, a bit Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I watched that. That was really good.
But the manga is so much better than the anime.
Yeah, and I watched the manga. I read the manga. See, that was a manga I've read and I forgot to mention.
That's just the prelogue. Like when the second season comes, like the people are not gonna watch the second season as much because it's not as much action as like in terms of fighting.
There's more storytelling, like Code Geass.
Yeah, so people are gonna be disappointed, but it's a very good, like the storytelling is very good. Speaking
of Code Geass, you know that's one of the only animes that doesn't have a manga.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah.
And it's a really good series, like story wise. Like it's one of my favorites. It's become one of my favorites. Like at first I was a bit like off just because like the characters look all strange and stuff.
I think
that's what pissed everyone off.
Anime? Like I don't know, it felt very
there's all sorts going on, but like their story is actually top tier.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the best stories I've ever like watched, and the ending, it's one of the best endings I've ever seen.
I just didn't watch it because it looked like it was mecha, like it has a mecha.
Yeah.
And, like the only mecha I've watched is Neon Genesis Evangelion. Like with mecha, I just feel like it's like Transformers. I'm like in my head, I'm like, why am I watching Transformers?
But the thing is, what I realized is that in Code Geass, mechas, they upgrade them in each arc, so they get stronger and stronger, like towards the final arc. And like some of the animation, like especially at the last arc, is mad. Like for the mechas, because you just see them like doing like zigzag, like at the speed of light, like destroying enemies and stuff. Like so, it's more so for plot than action or fighting.
Yeah,
I
the
guess.
plot is
Yeah.
really sick.
Yeah, and some of the characters are really funny as well. Like C2 is probably one of my favorite female characters, like just because of the way she acts. Like,
Is that the one with the green hair?
yeah. C2 is funny.
It's very dramatic as well.
Yeah,
It was like there's so many scenes where it's just like when he's trying to use his powers or whatever.
yeah,
It's just like, oh my gosh, how's he gonna get out of this situation?
yeah.
Yeah.
And like just like some of the things, like the little details, like stuff that people say, like whenever the people get caught under gas, and then it's if it's a member of the royal family, they're like, "Yes, Your Majesty!" Like shit like that is just so funny. Like in the series, so that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I was reading. I was like over the past year, I've read loads of manga. I think I've read too much manga. I've read too much, but like I think I've read like with Joe, I read like the same things as him in terms of the monthly things, and then weekly, I read Kingdom. Um, my brain just went dead. My Hero, One Piece. What else do I read weekly? Oh, Solo Leveling. It's like a.
I've heard
It's
that's very good.
it's sick. I've missed like 2 chapters. I need to read that. It's literally. Is this the guy's just OP? Like I've never seen it. Like it's a very OP main character. I don't like from the stuff I've read and watched. I've never seen a main character as OP as that.
One Punch Man.
Yeah, why did I just? He's even though he's more OP than One Punch Man. One Punch Man can just punch someone in one punch, but this guy is more OP than One Punch Man because he can like One Punch Man is he's just that strong. Like he's gonna be there forever. He can't get stronger with the main character in Solo Leveling. Like he's the top tier of all the hunters or whatever, and he can still grow, and like no one else can grow. So he's just like very OP. And then
Sorry to interrupt you. With Hunter, how many like arcs are there after the anime ends with the 2011 one?
Only one, and it's not finished yet. It's the
Dark Continent.
Yeah, Dark Continent arc.
Yeah.
It's literally like the start because it's the royal selection between there's like
Do you
a
read
royal
it?
family.
Me?
Yeah.
No,
no.
like oh no, I'll leave you to speak, Joe.
Oh, yeah, I was reading it until it went on hiatus because
Okay,
like
yeah.
obviously it's difficult because the way Hunter x Hunter manga is written, there's just too much writing.
No, it's not. It's not.
It
It
is.
is not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Reading Hunter x Hunter, hey.
One Piece is more reading. One Piece is heavy, like in like the amount of words it has in the panel.
Okay.
Like,
because I haven't read One Piece, so maybe
like
that's
okay,
why.
Hunter has loads of writing, but like I'm rereading the Chimera Ant arc right now as well. So like it's just flowing. Like the writing is just flowing. It's not like it's like heavy reading. You're reading that. You're reading something. It's gonna be writing.
Well,
like,
what I remember from the latest arc, Hunter x Hunter arc,
a lot of
with Kurapika, there's too much going on. Like it's too detailed. Like you actually have to sit down and like read like each part. So yeah.
I still haven't read the last chapter that he released. I'm refusing to read it until he releases more chapters, and it's been 3 years.
So that's like your own self-imposed conviction not to read it.
Yeah, literally, he's been in hospital for 3 years, man. 2017. I remember because I finished watching the anime of Hunter x Hunter in 2017, and I went straight to the manga after I watched the anime, and I was like, when is this thing gonna continue? And it went on hiatus. Wrong thing.
And then this year I've just read like I think September last year to like now I've read like quite a few. So I've read Goodnight Pompon, Solanin, I forgot my Kingdom. My brain just went blank. Why does this always do that? And it's probably on my phone. Kingdom. And then I'll read Ancient Magnus Bride as well. That comes out monthly. Oh yeah, I read Real, and then Golden Kamuy, Chainsaw
I've heard
Man.
about Golden Kamuy. Is it good?
It's good. The manga's good. The manga's probably better than the anime.
Anime is funny. So
Some of the scenes in the anime just makes me laugh, especially last season. It's crazy. And then I need to finish reading number 5.
it's
Is
called
that
Number
the name
5.
of it?
Yeah, it's literally called number 5. Do you know the guy who made Black and White? It's
Black
like
and
it's cool. I'm gonna pronounce it. So Tekon Conquet. It's cool as that. It's like Black and White. He made that man. He made Ping Pong as well.
Is Black and White good?
Yeah, the movie's good. It's it. Yeah, so I've read all of them, and then what else did I read? Oh, well, that was like 2 years ago. But I've read Vagabond as well, which is really good. I think everyone should read that.
Psycho Bond.
No, Vagabond.
Vagabond, my bad.
And
Doesn't
then,
it have anime?
no, I don't think that's ever gonna get an anime because of its art style. It's kind of too realistic. So, and don't think that's ever gonna be adapted ever. Which is the same guy that made Slam Dunk. He done that.
Oh, Vinland Saga. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That has that anime.
Saga.
Have you watched Vinland Saga?
It's still on my list. There's so much stuff that I see, and I'm just like,
It's definitely worth the watch. I watched it over last summer. It was
I
good to
was
watch.
watching it when it came out. Like that was coming out at the same time as Demon Slayer. I
Demon
didn't even know
Slayer,
Demon
yeah.
Slayer was out. I was just watching that. That's like the hype of Demon Slayer didn't even hit me until like
Yeah,
a couple months after.
yeah.
It's like,
I literally caught up to Demon Slayer as it was ending. Like I was binging it, and then I caught the last episode the day it aired. Like, and then I was like, "What now?" Avoiding my life. And then when I watched Vinland Saga, I was like, this one actually has a better storyline. Like, because it's realistic. Like, it's not like there's no powers or anything. Like, people lose an arm, they lose an arm, they lose an eye, they lose an eye. Like, it's
No,
actual
Demon
storytelling and like people and relationships. Whereas Demon Slayer is like, what's it breathing?
I still need to watch Demon Slayer. I only watched the first episode, but now it's on Netflix. I'm gonna probably watch it.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's on Netflix.
yeah.
But that just shows how much hype just plays a role in everything.
Speaking of hype, Promised Neverland is coming on Netflix in March, the first season.
Why did they have to go anime?
And that's something we should talk about in this.
Okay, definitely.
Promised Land going anime only. They've personally, I put this on my Snapchat story the other day, on like my anime. I have a private anime Snapchat story, and I was saying they've butchered this series, bro. You know that arc that they skipped
If you
in the
told me
manga?
about it, I need to read
No, you guys
We'll talk
don't
about it in the
know.
anime section.
You
Okay,
guys
just
don't
wait for
know.
it.
You guys don't know.
Wait
That
for
arc, yeah, that's supposed to be one of the best arcs I've watched in any series, because like they're in the house, they actually meet this guy who's like a fully aged man, and he was in that the shelter place. He's in the shelter
that
place as a
long?
child, and he's the only one that survived. So he knows the place, the whole area of by heart. And he takes Ray and Emma to go exploring, and then Emma gets separated from them, and Emma ends up in this hunting ground place for the demons. And it's like these demons are basically running an illegal hunting game where they hunt the kids in this hunting park. And so Emma meets these new people who are like around her age, they're kids as well, and they all make this plan of how to get out of the park and kill the demons and become this whole long arc. And it's so sick. And instead of doing that, they basically wrapped it off by having the human soldiers come and blow up the shelter. And that's supposed to happen at the end of the arc, not right at the beginning. And you're not supposed to see the mum Isabel until way after that. And they just cut it all out. I'm telling you, I was so annoyed when they did that, because like they've just basically missed like some of the most important like character developments. Like I'm sure if you were watching the anime right now and you saw them, like they look slightly older, because
Yeah,
it's
I was
all
baffled.
because they skipped all of that out. Like you're supposed to actually see them. There's not supposed to be a random skip. You're supposed to see them get older, like and like learn about how to be in the demon world and like dress as how they dress up as demons.
Yeah,
You're supposed to
that
learn
just I
about
was
all of
confused.
that. It doesn't just
Yeah, I was
happen like
actually,
that. Like
now I think about it, I remember watching the
yeah.
episode thinking, where did
Yeah.
they get the stuff
Yeah,
from?
exactly,
So
exactly. They didn't do it properly. Like if they're gonna go anime only, they should at least like had a good transition. Like instead of just doing it abruptly.
Yeah.
Because now it because for me, obviously now that I know what actually happens, it just looks rushed. Like and like it just feels like Tokyo Ghoul Re all over again.
Oh no, we're not talking
Cutting out. Yeah, so
about
that's
that.
that's why I'm a bit annoyed about Promised Neverland because I was hoping it was going to be a good adaptation. And instead it ended up being a bit mediocre. Even the place where where Norman's headquarters is, it's supposed to be this really big place. It's not supposed to be like a small
That guy's looking like he's
house.
to be some iffy guy now, man.
Norman?
The way the way that last episode ended,
Yeah.
was like this to be sound over his face.
It's actually not supposed to like. To be fair, Norman is actually supposed to be a problem, but it's supposed to be a problem with the demons, not necessarily. Yeah, because he said he's trying to get these two groups of demons to fight. Yeah, I've said my piece. I've said my piece. No, what's about to happen in the anime? What's going to happen in the anime is a really like important arc, but what happens before it is better to most people who've read the manga. Because then the ending was a bit wishy-washy, like Demon Slayer's ending in the manga. But,
Yo, Joel, did you read the manga version of the Promised Neverland before you watched?
Yeah.
This
So,
one's
it was good until the ending. Promised Neverland for me.
I skipped to the ending.
Yeah.
I was like an idiot. I just wanted to see what the last chapter was about.
Yeah.
And I just saw some random like demon looking thing in the sky, and Emma's talking to him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just I need to read it, but I was baffled.
It's because Emma makes a deal with that demon is like the gatekeeper between the human world and the demon world.
I always have to get so complicated.
I won't talk anymore about that though. Hopefully they change the ending, because if they don't, I don't know. Like it was a bittersweet ending because I know you're not even talking anymore.
So would you guys say that from the manga that you've read, would you say the manga was better than the anime?
I don't even know, because like I feel like a lot of the manga I read is like I'm either reading it because I enjoy the anime and I want to know what happens next, or it's a case of like I've come across the manga and they're not producing the anime for it. Like for instance with the Berserk one, I guess there were animated episodes for whatever, but like I just wasn't interested in watching the anime. So that's an example of where I thought the manga is better than the anime. And for One Piece, I think because of how they had their fillers and they dragged the episodes out, like when I was reading the manga at times, I felt like it was a breath of fresh air in terms of just things moving fast and like feeling like I was just covering a lot of story in a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And I feel like for My Hero, I kind of don't mind like
the manga's so much better than the anime, like especially in the fourth season.
I agree.
For the fourth season, like
Hero Academia manga is hard. Like when I read it, it feels like you're watching it. Like when you watch read comic books, it's kind of like that.
It's because of the art style as well.
Yeah, the art style is a lot better.
But I just feel like, especially with the overhaul fight and against Deku, I feel like it got cut short in the anime. It's like and the
pacing at the end kind of got rushed.
Yeah, that's all. Like it just out of nowhere it finished, and I just felt like underwhelmed. And then like in the manga, it felt more intense in the manga. Like it was more like at risk and more at cost.
People were saying, "Oh, Deku got Game Shark and went Super Saiyan 2 and just overhaul in the anime."
But yeah, just I don't know. The manga for that is better. Even that Seven Deadly Sins, the manga is so much better. Apart from the ending. And then what else have I read that?
I feel Tower of God was better, comic wise. because obviously, unlike traditional manga, it's in color.
Yeah.
But like the anime adaptation is just not the same. It's a bit different than, and also because they cut stuff because of Crunchyroll trying to fill their quota, they cut a lot of important details in the anime.
Yeah.
And it's cool because you get to see the art style improve from the very first chapter. Because the very first chapter is like, I think from early 2000s or something, or even the 90s.
What
Tower
type
of God, yeah, and then the art style improves as you continue reading. And then the latest chapters are like proper, like high quality, like 4K art, like comic art. Like it just looks really good because it feels like you're watching the anime, just like it's a comic.
Yeah, it's because the color.
Yeah, the color. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I just feel like with manga, I feel like, so I understand why people don't read it because of like the fight scenes being hard to understand at times. And like, what was I reading? Like with One Piece, with the bit like with the Marineford art, like you really have to like zoom in to see the panels because the way Oda panels his stuff is mad as well. Like the panels are like he will like for some reason it'll just be one like it will just be a full person and then he will panel the sword for no reason. And it just makes it harder to read. But yeah, and then also it being monochrome. I think people will read webtoons or comics more because it's in color. I think people don't like stuff being in black and white. They want to see it in color.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell what it is that's going on when it's in black and white. Like even when I was reading Berserk, I only realized like literally the last chapter I read what was meant to be fire. Like I thought it was air or something. I had no idea what it was supposed to do, but
Yeah. But unless it's like, and then unless it's really clear and actually, but I don't know. With Vagabond, I think that's the one that like no matter what, it's like everything's just clear because of how detailed the drawing is. But yeah, and I feel like people don't like reading in general. So I
that's
feel like
true.
anime is just more
Like
convenient
comics,
for anyone. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, I
like
know because I know a lot of people who only just got into anime. Like, so obviously they're only going to see the anime. They're not going to read the
Man.
manga unless you're like a hardcore fan of the series and you go and read the manga. But like most people will just watch the anime. That's why you only see anime podcasts and not anime and manga podcasts. Because who has time to read books in our day and age?
Yeah. Very true. But I don't know. I feel like manga just nicer because it's the source material
Exactly, yeah.
and
It's
it's like
original content.
yeah, and like it's not gonna get like anime just because it's a 20-minute episode.
It has to be as captivating as possible.
Yeah,
I've
and
noticed that even with Attack on Titan, like the pacing is it's not bad, but like they try and make every episode dramatic, either through pacing or like storytelling. Otherwise, people are not going to tune in.
what did you say, Reni?
I don't remember.
Oh, I couldn't
My
hear.
bad.
He says,
Apologies.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I don't remember.
yeah. Yeah, gonna go into the history segment now. So this is gonna be a fun one. I'm just gonna say now the pronunciation is gonna be terrible. I think I just should just try harder to pronounce the stuff. So yeah, so this one's gonna be like a little history lesson on manga. So let me make this full screen. So yeah, so here's a little history lesson on manga. So oh my god, Chijo Jinbitsu Gaga is dubbed the first manga. So it was belonging to the oh my god Kazan-ji Temple in Kyoto, Japan, as an ancient cultural property, are usually thought to be painted in the middle 12th century, whereas the third and fourth scrolls may well be from the 13th century. So the Ekamono. Oh my god, Ekamono. Japanese illustrated hand scrolls, and they are read. They are read and rolled out from left to right, which can still be seen in manga and Japanese books. So it is credited as being the oldest work of manga in Japan and is a national treasure, as well as many Japanese animators believe it's the origin of Japanese animated movies. The first two scrolls are entrusted to the Tokyo National Museum, and the second two are entrusted to the Kyoto National Museum. The scrolls currently are on display at the Kazenja reproductions. The first scroll is seen to be the most famous. So the very first manga magazine was Erishinbun Nakopunchi, was published in 1874 by Kanjaki Roban and Karanabi Karasai. I'm very sorry for butchering these pronunciations every time.
Every episode.
I think I just practice before, be more prepared. I was being a joke, man. It was likely influenced by the pioneering Japanese magazine, the Japan Punch, which was published between 1862 and spring 1887 by Charles Wangerman. So the Irishinbun Narupanchi, and I really want to learn Japanese, and I'm just butchering it, did not have initial success as it was discontinued after only 3 issues. This was followed by Kawashi Shimbun in 1875 and the Marumyu Shimbun in 1877 and Garakata Chimpo in 1879. So the pre-war manga works are a mixture of elements, especially words and images. The words are synonymous to the social and economic needs of the pre-war Japan and Japanese nationalists, while the images were largely associated with Chinese graphic art. After World War II, manga was shaped by US culture derived from television, film, cartoons, and comic books. So the top 10 selling manga of all time are Demon Slayer at 12 million, One Piece at 10 million, Kingdom at 7.6 million, Promised Neverland at 6.4, The Quintessential Quintuplets at 5.8 million, Boku no Hero Academia at 5.4, Attack on Titan at 4.7, Haikyuu at 4.3, and Kaguya-sama Love is War at 4.07, and then Reincarnated as a Slime as 3.4. But I wrote this script like last year, so I feel like JJK is like higher
It's
up
probably
now.
up now. Yeah.
So there's more volumes being circulated. But Demon Slayer, because One Piece was the first for time. So Demon Slayer that just shows like how much hype Demon Slayer has had.
Push One Piece which is an all-time. It's been there for ages.
Fantastic.
When Naruto and Bleach were running, and they were the big 3.
Yeah.
And it's still ongoing as well. I never would have thought that would have been second.
Bro, it's because of Demon Slayer. But even the fact, this is what annoys me about Demon Slayer, because I said this in the other episodes. Kingdom is so much better than Demon Slayer, but it doesn't have a good anime. The anime is trash. So if the anime was good, it would probably be above Demon Slayer or like level with Demon Slayer, because there's like the fact, and it's the fact that no one really like over here or like in the West, no one really knows about Kingdom, but it still has like 7.4 million.
I think it's due to the audience as well, because I feel like Demon Slayer is going for younger people, like teenagers, like in like maybe they're 14 or 15 and then upwards, whereas if you're going for stuff like Kingdom or like Villain Saga, it's for older audiences. So at the end of the day, it depends on who the market is appealing for.
True. And people like shonen stuff more than like
exactly
and other stuff. So But I thought people need to read Stan stuff more as they get older.
Yeah,
The stories are better,
yeah.
so much better.
That's probably why we think that there's so many other series better than Demon Slayer, because we're not watching formulaic shonen shows.
Yeah.
That probably makes sense then, because there's been so many more new people watching anime since
Yeah,
last
exactly.
year as well.
Yeah, because of lockdown as well, people.
Mm.
Even just one of my colleagues told me, "Oh, I'm watching Naruto now." Like, my friend was trying to convince me to get into anime, and now I'm hooked. And another one of my friends, this guy doesn't even watch a single anime show, and he is messaging me every Sunday about Attack on Titan. Like, I can't wait to see what happens. Let me know. Do you know what happens to Eren? Is Eren gonna get out of jail? This and that. Like, these guys have never touched anime like for like the 5 years I've known them, and suddenly they're now into series. So it just depends.
Yeah.
I guess what appeals to people.
But if Attack on Titan appeals to you, that more Stan stuff will appeal to you.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just the fact that I think the shonen stuff, because it's so easily accessible and
Yeah.
it's easy to understand, especially when you see some people have never watched anime before, and then they see the or maybe they don't watch stuff in subtitles or the English dub, and then they watch the English dub first, and then they get into stuff that's in sub. Because to be fair, that's how I got into anime, like watching Dragon Ball in English, and then eventually watching it in sub. Because what's the point of watching it in English when I see the original?
That's the only one. That's the only thing where the dub is better.
Yeah, it's literally just Dragon Ball. Like, and some, like, I don't know. Trying to think of other series like Samurai Champloo,
I've never watched that.
Michiko and Hatchin, because those are like the old gen like cartoons that were on Toonami and stuff. That's the only reason why the voice acting is better. Otherwise, it's not why. Like, even like Naruto, after the first few seasons, after season maybe 3 or 4, that's when the voice acting gets a bit cringe. Like, I would never watch Naruto Shippuden in English dub, because it's just like there's like a certain time period where English dub just got washed. Like, got that off topic because we're talking about manga, not English dub and sub.
I feel like sometimes the episodes have like 30% of the main topic.
What are you doing?
Tangents.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. Let's get back onto the topic now. So that's the end of the history segment. So now we're going to be talking about anime. So I kind of talked about this earlier, but like with anime, it drags out programming, and which makes it longer. Like, I don't feel like fillers are necessary for anything. Like, fillers, they're just there to make money, really, but it just drags out the programming, and like people lose interest after that. So, like, I feel like with Naruto Shippuden, it's like 40 something percent, or it's either 50% is filler. So like why would you watch the show when half of it is filler? It just makes no sense. It just ruins the show when it does that. It ruins it so much.
A lot of the time, like with shows like that One Piece and Naruto, when I was first watching them, I would just watch it and like do other stuff while I was doing it as well, because like I could basically get the gist of what's going on. I was just like, do you know what? There's no point in watching this because I know what's happening, so I'll just like keep it on.
Okay. But with One Piece, there's only I think One Piece is just long in general. With One Piece, there's only like 11% is filler. But I worked this out yesterday. I mean, like the other day, it was like 11% of 900 and something is like 100. It's like 100 episodes. So that is kind of a lot of episodes. It's just when you see 11%,
A lot of time as well.
Yeah. So
The amount of episodes One Piece has is,
man, it's worth it.
Scary. It is scary.
I think it's worse because of the chapters as well. It's like it's literally 1004 right now. But I think I'm sure that there's a couple manga that's gone above that. So it's kind of historical over doing that. It's like been like 23 years, so consistently doing that for 23 years, your body's gonna get drained.
I don't even know how you can continue doing a project like that for that long and not get tired of it. But I would definitely run out of ideas by now.
It's a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
But sometimes
Dedication.
I feel like he pulls stuff out of nowhere.
So there's plot holes.
Not with
Yeah.
Haki definitely, because some of the stuff with Haki came on like everyone had like pre-time skip. Everyone had devil fruits, and like you're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
how can Luffy defeat a Logi? Was it Logi or type devil fruit? Like you're literally punching holes through people and you're not damaging them, and then Haki came out of nowhere. So with that stuff, definitely, I feel like sometimes he pulls stuff out of nowhere.
That's what people say a lot about the last arc of Naruto with Kaguya, because Madara was literally the OP villain. Madara, especially when you think about like that whole scene when he's fighting all the Allied Shinobi and he's just breaking necks and stuff, and he killed all of the 5 Kage, basically. Like there was no one who's gonna beat Madara until Masashi Kishimoto threw that Kaguya plot hole, and Madara got absorbed by Black Tetsu and Kaguya, and then it became let's save the world mission, Team 7's final mission against Kaguya, against the alien race. But then I feel like it's good that they have Boruto, because now they're explaining some of that Wahala they did in Boruto. Like, even if Boruto is a bit wishy-washy itself. Like,
I remember like watching the first episode and seeing they're using like technology and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to see technology.
No.
Like, I want it to kind of be rustic and like
archaic. He's doing that because of the other series that he started,
Samurai 7.
Yeah, so that was supposed to be a sci-fi series, but it got cancelled because it wasn't selling well. Yeah. So I think he's trying to incorporate that tech stuff into the Boruto story, which, to be fair, I understand, because as the times are improving, technology improves.
Yeah.
So I don't hate it. I just want to see how they incorporate it into the series, because otherwise
Are you still watching Boruto?
I only watch the stuff that's not filler. So right now they've finally started animating the manga, the Karma arc.
I don't think I'm.
So yeah, we've already seen Kash and Koji use a Rasengan against Konohamaru in the anime, and we've seen Ao. Remember Ao, the Mizukage's assistant?
Oh yeah, that's where the back is.
Yeah, because he's part cyborg, so he was fighting Boruto and his team, and they managed to beat him.
Did she remember? Did she know he was the snake, basically?
Who?
The Mizukage's right hand man.
Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. Also, I feel like anime changes the content from manga sometimes. Like they either take stuff away or add stuff. So
because they want to change, they want to make improvements to the story.
Yeah.
Because they know that's kind of what they're doing with Sword Art Online, because Sword Art Online's so old. They have Sword Art Online, and they have Sword Art Online Progressive, which is like the story completely rewritten and like an in-depth version of what was happening in the first season. So yeah, it just depends on the author at the end of the day, what they want to do with their story. Because obviously there's that whole thing of how much money can we make from my original ideas. So, I guess that's why there's so many series continuations like Boruto, Dragon Ball Super,
Dragon Ball Super,
even the Seven Deadly Sins, the new one that's going to come out, the Knights of, I can't remember the full name.
And they have a movie already of Seven Deadly Sins.
I think they have. Isn't that 2 movies or 1 movie?
They have 1 movie of Seven Deadly Sins, but they have the new series, which will start, which is about Meliodas and Elizabeth's son, who's one of the.
Oh gosh, they had a kid.
Yeah,
Ban and
I think it's Knights of the Round Table. Knights of the Round Table. It's based on that. So there's Lancelot, who's Ban's son, and then Yeah, it's Knights of the Round Table, and like Arthur's like gonna be one of the main characters as well. I think.
How
When
old
he
is
became the
Meliodas?
Hmm?
3,000
How old
years
is
old.
he? The
Three,
character, the
like
blonde guy.
it's like 3,000 or more than 3,000 years old.
And is Elizabeth the one that he met in the first episode?
Yeah, but she.
Looks like a
let me-
kid anyway. He's like half her size.
No, but like I don't want to spoil the storyline. It makes
Oh.
sense, but like he's
Yeah, we don't want to spoil
the way they portrayed it made it look way worse than what it was.
Definitely.
So
But yeah, I feel like sequel series aren't really as good as
prequel.
or they're never really as good as the original content, really, in my opinion. Apart from Naruto Shippuden, that's to me that's like one of the only exceptions.
No, Naruto was
like-
better than Shippuden.
You think so?
Yeah, Naruto is so much better than Shippuden.
I don't know, bro. I don't think Naruto's the original series was bad. I feel like they just improved upon certain things.
For
You
me,
prefer the original
yeah,
series?
the original was so much like I watched.
Come on.
Like an
But yeah.
idiot, I watched Shippuden first, and then I
But
watched Naruto.
okay.
So
But
like,
you have to think about some of the arcs there in Shippuden. The pain arc.
okay, that's one of the best
pain
arcs in the
arc.
show.
People talk about that arc like happened yesterday. That's one of the hardest arcs. Like when everyone was dying, I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that people actually died. Like
Kakashi was
like
dead.
yeah, Masashi Kishimoto did like a what if situation if we kill all the main characters.
See, I'm not
basically.
gonna lie, he should have
Yeah.
kept Kakashi killed if that was the thing.
But then they wouldn't have been able to finish the plot with like stuff of Obito and Ren and
True.
the old Team 7.
But
And
we pulled that out of like, why would you kill? No, I don't know.
it makes sense, I guess, because of the jutsus. But it wasn't as the thing is I can respect it because it's not as convoluted as Dragon Ball, where people use the Dragon Balls and then they come back to life.
That's not even convoluted. That's just such a linear story. It doesn't have any end goal. There's no mystery.
Because there's no real consequences. It's the same with Fairy Tail. That's why Fairy Tail got washed after the Tenrejima Island arc, because they'd have characters die and then it turns out they don't die and they don't explain why. It's like, oh yeah, magic. That's the only reason they're alive. So that's another reason. That's why I think Fairy Tail in terms of manga is better than the anime, because the anime adaptation is terrible for Fairy Tail. Especially not, and to be fair, yeah, the first few seasons are good. It's like after the whole Tenrejima Island arc, I feel like just everything after that just got washed. Like
7-year time skip.
Yeah, the 7-year time skip. Because before that, Fairy Tail was actually one of my favorite animes because it just like the world, the characters in the world setting. I thought it was really cool, but then they ruined it. As always.
Well, I think the only thing that is good, or not good, or anime is good, but I feel like is sick is the anime originals in like the sense of like not having a manga. So like one of the, like some of the best ones that don't have a manga, like best animes that don't have a. Some of the best animes are the ones that don't have a manga, like Cowboy Bebop and like Samurai Champloo.
Yeah.
And then you're saying Code Geass. I swear.
Michiko and Hatchin.
Yeah, and then on my anime list, I swear, Code Geass is like one of the highest rated as well.
I think it is. Let me even check.
So like that's the only thing that I say. That's the like. Not only like that puts anime like not on top or like not even level, but it like gives it an extra boost because of that stuff. But the anime,
I feel like I've missed so much of manga because I've seen a lot of anime and I've never thought, oh, what if I actually tried the manga to see if it's better? Because even from this conversation, I felt there must be so much anime that I've watched and I thought it was okay, and the manga was actually probably really good, and I just didn't check it out. So now I have to check back over my whole list again.
but I feel like that the whole purpose of anime is to make people read manga. So like I guess people don't like that just shows people don't like reading. People really don't like reading. If people liked reading, there would be there's so much manga that they would like. I don't know. It was just the hype of Demon Slayer just made like 12 million people buy the manga. So, and I don't know. Demon Slayer.
Maybe like people are fanboying out when they really enjoyed the series, so they're like, "Oh, let me have like a piece of memorabilia."
It's like the comic because you can always go back to it whenever. That's what I do with my. I have the original Naruto books, so when I have time, just go back and read it.
And like what you were saying about the anime needing to make people not needing to make people read the manga, but like I thought like because you have the sound and you have the visual elements and the color, it's more of a comfortable experience for some, I guess. Like even like sometimes when I'm reading like a good manga, like I probably have music playing on my phone as well. So like probably like for instance when I was like watching Attack on Titan, I was like binging it. I was probably listening to like the most darkest music that I have because just to set the scene, I guess. But like that was just me making it more of an experience than it actually was. But yeah, like
I literally put the soundtrack on for the anime when I'm reading the manga. I put the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's actually such a good idea.
It gets in the atmosphere. And then have your colored light on.
Trust. My color light is literally what's it called up here? So it changes with the. Oh no, someone switched it off. That's a shame. I'm not able to get up. Life. Okay, now let's see if I can get this up.
And what's it? Watching anime. Reading manga is quicker than watching anime. Like that's what I thought. I don't understand why some people don't want to read manga. Like literally so much quick. Like you can read 10 chapters in half an hour if it's like a 20-page manga, and you get through the content much more quicker.
Maybe it depends on what type of reader you are as well.
True.
Like that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say, but like I feel like it depends because your binge either binge reading or binge watching. Like I feel like binge watching drains you more than binge reading. Because like when I was binge watching One Piece, it just took bear out of me. Like I was like, like do you know when you're like I watched so much One Piece in one day, I was like, I can't watch One Piece anymore. Like you just need a break from everything. So like with manga, I don't feel like that. Like I can binge read one manga and then skip to another, like go over to another manga I'm reading.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically binge watching, you're staring at a screen for hours.
Yeah, and like sometimes the story content like just drags, whereas like the manga you can just go back to whenever.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I'm doing with Jujutsu Kaisen at the moment. Like I actually kind of read some chapters when I can.
I'm gonna start reading that when I finish.
Yeah, it's hard.
I just know the arc right now, or the one that just finished in the manga, is supposed to be really good.
Yeah,
Shibuya incident. It's supposed to be.
There's now like the government, no, not government, Jujutsu laws like for certain characters, like Itadori Yuji has a bounty again. Execution has been set up. Yeah, it's crazy, all sorts of crazy, and then like they've got other characters coming back now, like what's his name? The one who's he's a second year, and they always mention him, Gojo, and the other second years. I can't remember his name. I think it's Ikotsu. I can't remember. He has black hair, and he has a demon inside his sword called Rita that he can summon at any time.
Everyone loves writing about demons. Like there's always demons and everything.
I guess that's Japanese culture then.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So they're trying to threaten, bring it out in the series.
What's it? Methodology. Yeah. What does everyone prefer?
I like colors. I like music. I like sound. So at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it depends. If an anime is done really well, I would definitely prefer an anime over, especially like visual, soundtrack, especially soundtrack. Like when I have a good one, I just can't. Like usually, I just end up on YouTube and I have like the whole playlist of the thing there. And with manga, like can't really get that same thing. But I don't know. I mean, I'm very biased because the amount of anime and manga I've watched is very not equal. But yeah, I'd have to say my anime for me.
I feel like I probably see, like, when it comes to making decisions like this, I always like to be extra and be like, I don't have a favorite or something like that, because it serves its purpose at the end of the day. But like, I feel like I do lean towards enjoying like the anime more because of just like all of the factors listed prior to, just the sound, the visuals, the color. But I feel like with manga, it's cool. Like, I don't know, if the story is really good and the drawings are really nice, it's like I'll still get as much enjoyment. And like, if anything, I'll enjoy the fact that I do save time when reading manga, because it's just like I cover it and then it's done. So yeah. Did you hear that? Yeah, I keep having to mute my mic because like my sister will just keep screaming shit all the time, and then it's just like yeah. Anime.
For me, it's manga. Like
I knew it.
for nothing can touch my like I said, it's a source material.
That's
Like
true.
there's so much stuff that I know can't be adapted, that I've read that can't be adapted into anime. So
Especially
like,
because a lot of anime airs on TV, so it's like
yeah,
you have to think about how
it will
much
be
can they,
structured.
and like censorship, especially in Japan.
Yeah.
So are there like a lot more mangas that would probably be that it can't be on air because it'd be too much censorship?
Yeah, I feel like Berserk, like there's like, well, in the 90s they could have not like with the clip scene, they in the 90s they put everything, but I feel like now
They
there's
would
so
be
much
able
stuff.
to.
Yeah, there's so much stuff in Berserk. When you read the story and you go further down, there's so much stuff in Berserk that's just crazy, and it's like violent. So, and then Akama Drive, there was blood in it, but the way they were censoring it was so weird. Like they were literally darken off someone's head getting cut off, so it just looked weird. But yeah, the censorship will get in the way of so much stuff, and even certain art styles will get in the way of stuff getting adapted. So that's why, for me personally, but the only thing is, I feel like with anime, the fight scenes are nicer than reading them, because you actually visualize it, and it's just so sick seeing a good fight scene.
Yeah, it's properly animated.
Yeah, it's like, and it's the fact that it's the way it's the way they animate and the way they use the camera work and everything. It's just nice, and when the music hits right. So that's the only thing that puts I'll put anime over manga in that sense. But everything else, I feel like manga's better, or not better, or I prefer it.
Yeah, I imagine in general manga is better. I just think that when you find good anime, it's like really good.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of manga as well. I think manga. Because now I think about if COVID wasn't a thing and I could travel, I probably would read manga a lot more, because I think it just is easier when I'm traveling or something and I have nothing to do, just listen to music and read it. But yeah.
So I would literally be like, if I would be going to work, I would be reading manga, because it's like literally apps on your phone, and then yeah, it's just like you could literally go to the park and read manga on your phone. It would just be
That's
it's
true,
like
actually.
it's literally the same as reading a book. So and, like that's another thing that I put anime over manga, is the fact that you can watch it anywhere, I guess. But like with people who would, that didn't make sense. But with people who like to like have something in their hand and read a book, like having it on your phone is kind of annoying, I guess. Like yeah, if there's easier ways to get by volumes, that would be nicer as well, because you can just it's literally a book. You can just go take it anywhere. So yeah. Anything else to add, guys?
What's like your top 5 manga? Just like I don't like, because obviously you mentioned That before Restricted Blood.
Hunter X Hunter, One Piece, Gunnet Pon Pon, Solanin, and Kingdom.
Cool.
Oh wait, oh, I don't know. Why does this always not? Okay, that's my top 5. That always
Bad
happens.
answer.
Yeah. I think that's no particular order. I think that's. Oh wait, no, I forgot Vagabond.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Yeah, I'll probably put that over Kingdom. I'll
I'm
put
surprised
Vagabond.
Berserk isn't on there.
Oh yeah, Berserk. See,
I keep forgetting.
my brain is so bad. Wait, see, I can't do it. Okay. Ah, Hunter x Hunter, One Piece. Oh, I don't know. Man, I don't know. But I said what I said. I guess I just have to stick with it. What about you? Do you know? Do you have your top 5 yet?
Joel, do you have a top 5?
Do I have a top 5? In terms of anime slash manga, well, I don't really have a top 5 for I kind of put them as the same. Like my favorite series are Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, ooh, Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Did you read that?
No,
No, I
I've got
didn't.
the first. I've got the
Okay.
first volume that I need to read.
Yeah. Top 5, and then the other ones would be I'd probably say Code Geass and Avatar: Last Airbender. Because that show is just
Are you serious?
yeah, I'm not joking. That show is way ahead of its time. Because I rewatched it last summer, and because when it was on Netflix,
Is it still on
and
Netflix?
I don't know anymore. I think Korra's on Netflix now, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. They could have just kept both on there, but
Stupid.
yeah, it's like for a limited time. I hate it when they do that, but it was fun, like watching it again. Like a lot of the jokes that went over my head and like I would have even noticed were so relevant even now. I like the writing is so well done. So I can't even fault Avatar. It's better than like a lot of the series like I've watched now, like anime
Better than
series.
Demon Slayer.
Better than Demon Slayer. Better than what's it called? Well, the animes are there now. Better than Boruto, obviously. Better than
Would you say it's better than Jujutsu Kaisen?
yeah. In terms of storytelling, yeah, it is. Better than ooh, it's interesting. Better than any other animals. Better than Tarugo. Better than God of High School.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I would like in top one of the best series like I've ever watched. So yeah, that's why it's there. And Naruto just because of like that's one of the first animes I watched, and like I never stopped watching it. Like even when I wasn't watching it, I was reading it. So that's why
Do you
it's
still
on
watch
my top.
random episodes of it?
Not anymore. I've kind of like moved on. If that makes sense. Like I put it on the shelf, and it's like even when I read Boruto or watch the Boruto anime, it's like yeah, it's the same universe, but it's not Naruto. Like,
It's not the
different.
same.
It's different. As Boruto said in the beginning, it's his story. It's not Naruto's story. So anything that happens, it goes
Literally
to Naruto and
nowadays.
Sasuke. It goes in one ear and out the other. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, the Naruto story is finished to me. So I'm kind of left. Like I don't know a lot of people who recently watched it. They get hyped. Oh, Boruto's ruining Naruto series. This thing that. What? No, Naruto's finished. It finished for me in 2014. So I've moved on because I was 16 or 17 when it finished. Like you have to move on. You can't keep holding on to things that are finished. Like let go. Like when I reminisce, it's nice to reminisce and have that nostalgia of when I was watching it. Like especially certain fights. Like I remember I was like 8 or 9 watching the Rock Lee vs. Gara fight on my old big TV on Jetix. I was like, yo, this is hard. I'm like 9 years old. And like that's how I'm able to like move on because it was ages ago for me, I guess. Yeah,
Do you
what
have a
about
top
you?
5 only?
Reni.
Pardon?
Do you have a top 5?
Not of manga, but anime,
Just
probably
off the top. Like, yeah.
Hunter x Hunter, Kill la Kill. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to grade them.
Yeah, especially when you're put on the spot. Like,
Yeah, and now I'm thinking, I know I'm gonna think about this later. I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I should have said that because that's actually because I can't remember all of them now. But okay, Hunter x Hunter, Kill la Kill. I guess Berserk. Paranoia Agent,
I need
and
to watch that.
it's really really good. Well, when
Oh,
we talk about like, I feel like it portrays mental illness like so, like you can just tell from the first episode. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is, yeah. It just gets like more complicated as the whole like anime continues, but yeah. So Hunter x Hunter, Kill la Kill, Berserk, Paranoia Agent, and I need to think. It's so bad. It's the last one as well. I just want to make sure I pick a good one. Psychopaths I really liked. It got me into like thriller type of like detective investigating crime type stuff. I didn't realize that was a whole other genre of anime as well. Like every time I watch something, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this type of anime exists. Like that type of, yeah.
The same guy that made Perfect Blue made Paranoia Angel.
Yeah, I can tell by the animation style. It all looks the same.
What's his name? Sasha Cohen. He's I want to do an episode on him. Just his
the
stuff.
same person who made Paprika as well.
Yeah, Paprika, Millennium Actress. Wait. Yeah, Paprika, Tokyo Godfather. I think is that the 5? Yeah, I think that's his 5 Brazil's. Yeah, Paprika, Tokyo Godfather, Millennium Actress, Perfect Blue, and then Paranoid Agent. I think that's the 5. He died like 10 years ago as well. So I'm sure he probably would have done loads more stuff as well.
Mm.
So yeah. What about you, Ade? Do you have a top 5?
I kind of just wanted to hear so I could get some information, lucky. But like, I feel like if anything is just, I was thinking I would like to read Death Note because that was like the main anime that got me into anime. So it would be interesting to read it and see how I would flow reading that. So I'll put it there just because it was like an OG anime that just got me into anime. I like Attack on Titan a lot. Like that, I just love the concept of it and the horror and the gore of it. Berserk, like there was a time I remember when I first kind of discovered that, like, and I was like, so I kept hearing, oh, this is so weird and after, but when you read it for yourself, you have an appreciation for something that's not, that kind of strays away from the typical conventional stuff. So like, I'd say Berserk, and what else is there? I like Boku no Hero because it's playful. Like it's just like I like superhero shit. So like it fits nicely in terms of like getting me excited and just riled up about the hero stuff. And what else is there? One more. I don't know. Let me think. There's one, but I'll say One Piece. Like I like One Piece because even though it's a drag, it's a drag.
It's worth the drag.
I don't even know anymore. Like, okay,
it's
worth the drag times because like I feel like with One Piece, because it drags so much, when you finally hit the good bits and these revelations and the world building is so vast and all of these little secrets, you're like, nah, I actually need to find out what's in these poneglyphs and like all of that shit. So I'm just like, I feel like with One Piece is the investment into it, which I'm just like, oh, it has to be on the top because like the fact that an author could really bring you into a world so vast and is like, I remember when people were trying to explain One Piece to me before I watched it, I was just like, wait, what?
And like, it's the fact that they're the villains of their world, like
they're the villains. Like,
it's so like it's the anti-hero thing because they're freeing everyone of whatever they're going through. So it's like that's why it's so good as well. Like you're seeing it from the villain point of view, and it's like a shonen like that, which is a kind of interesting.
It's got that thing about it where it encourages you to kind of, I don't know what shonen does, where it's like, you're a hero, you can do whatever you want to do, persevere. So that I feel like, yeah, I'll put One Piece there as like top 5. I feel like my list is very mainstream, but it's like that's just what it is at the end of the day. I need to watch more like niche anime. Like I feel like I just need to tap in. But yeah, that's it. That is it.
Thank you for watching slash what did I say? Watching slash listening. Yeah. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
No problem.